Hey everyone, another quarter is in the books. Welcome to this AMA session. With me today is Gustav from Product, Alex from Tech, Marek from Risk. Also calling in are Alice representing the people team and Kaisa from Customer Operations. So let's go to the slides. So the mission of changes really stayed the same basically during the time. We want to enable everybody to take part in world success. So this means basically making investment service for really average Joe on the street. And I think this quarter was an amazing leap forward regarding accomplishing this mission. If you look at our numbers, we have now 85,000 installs. You can see our volumes growing month on month. We actually made more volume this quarter than the entire last year combined. We have customers from each of the European Union countries, and all of this is possible because 5.8 thousand people crowdfunded our mission to enable everybody to invest. If you look at the numbers, then basically the trading volume has increased. The customer counts basically have increased from 22,000 to 27,000 basically this quarter. So this means 5,000 increase. The installs in this quarter has gone up basically 20,000, what has been a really good accomplishment. And the funding remaining is still standing at a really strong level of 8.5 million euros. You can see that we've really used the funding diligently as we raised 50 million euros in 2017, and in 2020 we have 8.5 million left. And I mean, the product what we have today is quite amazing. But now let's go to your questions. That's the most important part of the session. And I would like to start with the first question from the list. So first question is, what are the most important developments in the people function lately? So this is for Alice.
Well, hello everybody. Thank you for sending all the great questions as well. So the most important developments with our people, so like the rest of the world, we also went fully remote now 5 weeks ago. I think as a very modern organization, we were set up really well to go remote, and we can actually see our productivity increasing. And on the other side, so last quarter, we have filled almost all of the open positions we need to execute our roadmap for this year. We hired some very crucial positions in both product engineering, and we're also really building up our marketing department.
Thank you, Alice. So the next question from the community is, what is the plan to achieve 99% uptime? What is required for the trading app? So Alec, I think this is for you.
Yeah, so it became very clear, the expectations on a trading app is that we have to be available all the time. Order execution needs to always execute with no issues. And so what we've been doing a lot behind the curtains is kind of swap out a lot of the MVP components that came with the original product early days to a more robust and enterprise solution. And a lot of work has been going into the background, into the tech, to kind of swap out these old slow components with modern ones, and to kind of ensure that we can deliver 99.9% uptime to the customers. But yeah, so this is a slow, costly process, and we every month we're doing a little bit more, doing some improvements on this to make sure we can deliver to our customers.
Next question is to the product. So the question is about extending the product to the rest of the world. So when is this expected?
So hi everybody. We do have global onboarding on the roadmap, but we're currently still focused on building out the core feature set, and we're focusing on bringing more value to the customer in the app. We have a few key components missing: margin trading and stocks. So we want to complete these first, and potentially Q3, Q4 look toward opening up globally. one big challenge there is that we have to basically rebuild our verification flow to accommodate for like different geographies. So it's a big decision for us because it's a very high effort task, and we have to make sure that it brings back the value as well.
Yeah, and also hello from my side. So I think from the compliance and regulatory side, I can surely state that we stand by the product, and coming from the EU, which is one of the most restricted or strict, let's say, jurisdiction. So if we succeed here, our legal solution is definitely scalable outside of Europe. So we have enough gunpowder ready for the global expansion.
Next question is regarding gold. So when you can trade gold and change that?
Yeah, so in July we aim to release the stock CFD product to our customers. Regarding gold, it will be possible to add gold CFDs as well, but this really depends on the customer feedback and the customer requests. So we very attentively measure interest and traction on different things we could build for our customers, and the more interest we see in gold, the faster it will be in the app. That's the answer in a nutshell.
Next question from a community member is, how does change keep running and meet the milestones during COVID-19 situation? In case there will be an economic recession, what is the plan to survive the hardship? So I will take this question. So I mean, if you look at this quarter, I think like in terms of our financial results and product metrics, I mean, everything has basically gone up. This is mostly because volatility means more trading. So in terms of like let's say really like short-term like goals, I think we're going to be hitting them. I think in the long term, our organization is quite well positioned for remote work, and I mean, we basically with this like basically like a snap of a button, we managed to quite effectively switch to remote. Also, I think our cost structure compared to like some of the peers, European investment clubs in Europe, is quite low. So we do have sufficient runway to kind of go. So I think in summary, I think our organization is well positioned for this crisis, and yeah. We don't anticipate missing any basically milestones or financial results. Next question is, what are the most important developments in customer support lately? So that's for Kaisa.
Hello everybody. So I think our current customer support function here at Change has been in a really good state. Our response time is good, monthly median response time around 30 minutes. Customer satisfaction rating is high, mostly over 96%. Therefore, the most important developments lately have been all on the operational side, and automation is definitely a key here. So we have already completely revamped our deposits processing system. A year ago, for example, it took at least 1-2 working days to receive the deposit. So currently it can be done within an hour. So it really just depends where the funds are sent from. We are also working on withdrawals automation, and crypto withdrawals is a high priority for us, which currently definitely is at the moment below the standards. So we are almost ready to automate Bitcoin withdrawals soon. So we have also started working in shifts, meaning that our support is available in longer hours and over the weekend as well. And we have also introduced case regions in the app, means that we can serve our customers in a better and faster way. And this quarter we aim to do some minor improvements to the in-app flow as well to ensure that our customers can contact us in an easier and faster way.
Thank you, Kaisa. Next question is about SEPA instant bank transfers. So the community member is saying that every EU bank supports it, like when will Change support it? So I think Marek is the best person to answer it from us.
Yes, so my function has worked closely with our banking partner, LHB Bank. So I can assure you that our banking partner is 100% capable of receiving instant payments, but it also depends on the sending side. So you must make sure that the bank you are sending funds from also support instant payments. And currently it's not 100% of the credit institutions in the EU that support this. So go and ask your bank if they are part of the instant payment framework, then we can receive your funds almost close to real time.
What are your plans to stand out against your competitors, Gustav?
Yeah, so I think our customers know change by our very competitive fee structure. So we were running commission-free for a long time. Recently, we introduced very competitive fees on altcoins, and Bitcoin remains commission-free. We kind of like the way we think about investing in change is that everyone should be able to do it, and if we can have one less barrier, commission-free investing, we are taking like one step toward that. Now, in addition to a competitive fee structure, when we ask our customers why are you using our app, then the common response is that investment apps in general are really hard to use, really hard to learn how to use, and we pride ourselves in having the easiest Bitcoin buying and selling experience in the world. And now, when we move to the new investment opportunities like stocks and margin trading on crypto, then we want to maintain this level of ease of use. It will be a big challenge, but as this is one of the main differentiators, we are like focusing heavily on this. I hope this answers the question.
Sure, I think so. Next question is, what are your recruitment plans for the next years? So this is for the people team.
So right now we're about 30 people, and this year we don't expect to grow much more. We really see that we have all the crucial positions in place to do everything we need to do, but we do have like two quite exciting positions opening in the next few months, so keep your eyes on our careers page as well. And by all expectations, if we hit our milestones for this year, we're going to start scaling the team next year bigger as well.
Yes, and there's another question for people team. What is the goal of the number of people employed? Difficult to answer in that sense, but I can say that the goal is small, if that describes it. So we believe that there is a way how to grow smart. And so today also we have less people who are more senior and cross-functional. So we have a lot of flexibility in kind of moving around our resources in-house. And we are relying a lot on automation. And overall, like whatever problem, need, or opportunity we have, like hiring a new person is the last solution we consider. First, like what can we change in the processes? What can we change in our responsibilities? And if there's really no other options, then we're growing the team. So to summarize, like the plan is to keep this team as small as possible at all times. Thank you. Next question is, what are the most important developments in risk and compliance? So, Mark.
Yeah, at least 4 big ones pop into my mind. So first of all, I think one of the biggest achievements was that we managed to come up with like a legal and regulatory arrangement how to make every CNG owner into a real shareholder. So it was a big achievement. You cannot see such an innovation, at least not here in Europe. So this was one of the biggest achievements. Second, I think I already mentioned our banking partnership. So we managed to sign a partnership with one of the well-known fintech banks in EU, LHV Bank. So it took a lot of compliance and legal work to make them feel comfortable with a very innovative crypto asset service provider like CNG. Third, I would say that I'm really happy and proud of us receiving the BCI certification. So it was, in main part it was a technical work. Yeah, great job, Alex. But it didn't only mean technical work, but also a lot of legal drafting and like procedures and policies we need to put in place. So and on top of that, we managed to do it with the half of the time that it usually takes for bigger financial institutions. And fourth, I would mention that we are quite close to finalizing legal and licensing arrangement with a top-tier investment firm in the EU, so that we have all the setup in place to start offering stock CFDs, traditional stocks, whenever product is ready.
Awesome. So next question is for the product. So a user is saying, I'd like to see your fee structure. Would you consider lowering the fees on all the altcoins and other assets as well?
So the way we look at pricing is through value. So we try to measure how much value do we bring to the customer, or how much value does the customer get when he uses the Change app, and how is that value increasing over time. Over the past 6 months, I think we have brought a lot of additional value. We have more order types, we have a lot more currencies, we are a lot more secure, we have card deposit, and the list goes on. And provided that we can increase the value we bring to the customer, we can also charge the customer. And this is how we look at pricing. Currently, still, I think that despite bringing a lot more value to the customers, we have a very competitive fee structure. If you look at the other beginner-friendly, easy-to-use crypto apps out there, the fees are higher. So, yeah, that's how I would answer this question.
Thanks, Christian. So next is about the CNG token. So the community member is asking about price and why there's so low volume. So I think we get this question pretty much every time. But I think our answer still remains that we focus on building fundamental value with that. We're really trying to make this a really big and successful company. And we believe that the price of this equity crowdfunding token will come basically afterwards. We do have a lot of plans to basically do investor relations in the second half of the year and kind of make it more intuitive to invest in this token. Just to remind everybody, basically, you can invest in Change just 10 euros and have basically startup equity exposure through a CNG token, and you can find this in our asset page in the app. So that's the answer to this. So we have quite some things planned, but I think that when the company is getting bigger, the price will follow as well.
Yeah, and I would add also that there are not so many early stage startups with such a potential where you have this secondary market or liquidity, at least an opportunity to liquidate your investment if whatever extreme circumstances you have.
Exactly. Exactly. So it's like a VC investment, but you don't need to be locked in for 7 years. You can basically just go in and out. So it's
Yeah, I would imagine. Every VC would be really happy about having such a liquidity around these very very risky venture investments. Yeah.
Exactly. So next question is about adding new assets to the product. So somebody's asking that when will you add stocks, options, ETFs, oil products, real estate?
The product plan for Q2 is to launch either like a closed beta launch or like an alpha public launch, both the crypto margin trading product and the stock CFD product. The goal is really ambitious. We aim to get it done, and the reason we don't take more assets on at the same time is that it's just really hard to do something really well if you have like 5 different assets you are adding into the app. So we will try to nail crypto margin and stock CFDs first, and then expand to commodities or ETFs or like anything of the like.
Sounds good. Question to Alec. What are the most important developments in your function in the last quarter?
Sure. I would say there's a lot of under the hood changes that's happened. We finally have a very, very senior engineering team. So a lot of time in the tech function was to kind of build this core team in tech and have dependable and obviously skilled engineers behind these products that can deliver. And as well, the big development as well is that we undergo Wednesday PCI audit, which is on the surface it's just a certificate, but in essence what this means is basically like it's like industry standards to make sure that our infrastructure, our customer funds, customer data is secured. So from a security perspective, it's like going from level 5 to level 1 in like a very short period of time. And this is like a really, really big achievement on the tech to make sure our customer funds and customer data is first of all secure and also like protected from any malicious activities. Other than that, we did a lot of improvements on the uptime. I think the last quarter we managed to hit a 99.89%, last month a 99.89% uptime, which is like a significant improvement. So a lot of our engineering resources went into kind of building fail-safe checks, redundancy, failover, scalable systems, swapping out MVP components for some critical MVP components with some enterprise solutions that can guarantee this uptime for us. So for us, the biggest thing was definitely getting the availability up in tech to make sure that the customers also has access to the app.
Sounds good. There's another question regarding the speed of product launches. So do you want to address that as well?
Yeah. So looking at how much we actually did under the hood, and still looking at what we were able to deliver, like Boost African Touch is what we actually delivered this quarter from feature rate.
Yeah, so Q1, let me think. So we started the quarter with CNG trading, which by that time was the biggest feature we had ever built, buying and selling of CNG. Then we added limit orders and stop orders. We added card deposits. I think these were the biggest features, and we have never built that complex things before.
And also adding some new assets, like crypto assets.
Yeah, so I think we added 5 or 6 new assets as well.
Yeah, so to kind of say, because like the features we're building is becoming more and more ambitious, a lot more time needs to go in planning and post-release testing, and just because the requirement from a trading app is so high, like the expectation is like it's like you have to be world class when it comes to reliability and uptime and user experience. We need to take a lot more care in how we build it, how we release it. A lot more time goes into testing and really thinking these features through before we start building it. Like we have significant volume now, so making mistakes now building a feature can be very costly for us. So we had to slow down to kind of make sure that our, like Gustav calls it, the kitchen side of our company is always running smooth, and that we also have a sharp knife to cut the cake. Yeah, so that's hopefully I give you some insight of what we actually have been doing this quarter.
I think it was a really good overview. And next question is about app notifications. So when do we have the plan to fix that?
So this is something the product team is not proud of. We have had these reports for a few weeks now, saying that several customers are unable to receive price notifications, and we have tried a few fixes. They haven't worked, and this has made it even worse. So it's definitely something we're not happy about. But together with Alec, we have now prioritized these push notifications to make sure that we will fix the issue in the coming weeks for good. And why this is so important to us? First of all, we want to make sure our customers don't miss good trading opportunities. The second thing is these push notifications are so powerful in terms of increasing retention, making sure people know when to come back to the app and trade. So nothing to say here. I take full ownership over this issue.
Sounds good. Question for Alice. How do you manage people's performance in this COVID-19 situation?
I think for us, the process doesn't really change whether we're remote or no, because we don't have these kind of official annual performance reviews or processes. So for us, like, performance and output is something that is very, very deeply built into our principles and into the way how we operate on a daily basis. So for example, like setting strong goal setting and ruthless feedback loops. Everybody in the team has a very clear KPIs, what need to be achieved, and at least monthly we do a deep dive feedback session to see how are we doing and how we can be better. Because and why we're doing this like on a constant basis is just we're very committed to building the next unicorn or fintech unicorn in Europe, and we need to bring like 20% on top of our goals every week. And for this reason, like, we need to have a daily, very clear overview of how is everybody doing in the team. And today it's working quite well for us.
Thanks. Next question for Risk. What was the result of CNG Token?
Great success.
Great success.
Yeah. So we saw half of the floating amount of utility tokens being sent in and being swapped as a result of the initial swap and voting period, and 100% yes votes. So I think there's not much more to do or achieve here.
Catered basically based on their feedback.
Yeah, and this also shows that people or the CNG owners or the initial contributors see change as a long-term investment, and what else? It makes us really proud, and we really push to really, like, achieve and the expectations and fulfill the expectations.
It's like usually in a startup you have, like, let's say your team, but we have these hundreds or thousands of people behind us, so it's really cool. Kind of like we're not in this alone, basically.
So it's like extra motivation.
It's like extra motivation, yeah. Next question is for the product. So when do you remove the top-up and withdrawal amounts from the portfolio screen to more accurately show the returns of investments?
Does the question clarify whether it's the portfolio balance number or the graph? Because it's hard to comment.
Okay, so it says like from portfolio balance.
Portfolio balance. Okay, so what we have been discussing is removing the deposits and the withdrawals from the graph because, well, adding and removing money from the app doesn't tell how good of an investor you are. So that's already in the backlog. Now, when it comes to the portfolio balance number, I think it's a bit more tricky, mainly because many customers, they see value in seeing like one big number that tells how much value they have in the app. Changing that thing is a big decision, and we need a lot of validation from our customers that it should be changed. But as a general comment, I think we can do a better job telling customers how well they are doing portfolio-wise, but also per trade. So if I buy Bitcoin on Monday and I'm selling on Wednesday, then how did I do essentially? So that's also in the backlog for us.
Okay. And last question for customer support. So these changes customer support ready to scale in the year of Bitcoin halving, and where there's basically a significant price increase potential.
So, honestly saying, we never know until we haven't successfully proven that we were ready, and this definitely will be the most challenging period for us. So, for example, when we launched our referral program in June, we learned pretty fast that we are not ready for such heavy loads, and also we learned what are the most important processes we must improve. So since then, we have already made a lot of changes and improvements. So I can say that we have a plan in place, and in theory, we are improving all our processes with an aim to be ready to scale fast if needed. So overall, operational improvements and automation is the biggest part we have to achieve. And if we get this all done fast enough, I believe we are ready and it should be doable.
Thanks, Kaisa. So that was also the last question. So if you have any more questions or feedback, you can go to changeinvest.com/opinion. I think one thing to mention is obviously there is 6 people here in this call, but actually there is 29 people in our company working really hard to deliver these results. So big thanks to them, and also big thanks for you for supporting us, and see you basically next AMA session. So thanks, guys.
Ciao.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Who's gonna turn
Thank
the
you,
camera
bye.
Behind the scenes.
Behind us.
I can't believe how strong the wind is, like Jesus.
Okay.